Well, I haven't posted a video in a while, so I thought I'd make a quick one. I've made a few, I just haven't posted them, and by the time I get, think about posting them, it's just way past due. Sunday, I did not go to church this morning. Hate that, but just horrible sinus stuff. And I tried doing those stupid neti pots last night to clear my sinuses out, and then I don't know, my plumbing's all messed up here, and just gave me really bad pressure in my ear. But anyway, all that, you don't care about that. Thought I'd show a quick garden. I need to weed eat around my raised beds, but let's take a look. So these are the raised beds. I'm new to raised bed garden. I did them last year for the first time. One thing I've learned is my tomatoes are too close. Like right here, I've got 2 plants, and they're too close, so they're too shaded on the inside. They're not getting enough sun, but there are starting to make romas. You can see down in there. Walk around, look at the other ones, but some good sized romas here. But of course this one's got bigger ones, but it's also less shaded. It's just one plant. Here we've got banana peppers that I really need to stake up. Give them some protection from these winds we've been getting. But banana peppers. Some more here. Oh, I got a weed that I have not noticed, and anything just came out of nowhere. Take care of you later. I guess this is a bell pepper. I thought I'd planted a banana pepper, but I guess that's a bell pepper. Over here I've got more peppers. These are going to be Anaheims. That's a banana down there. I don't know. No, it's Anaheim too, just bigger. If you notice, though, this one is not really got anything on it, and again, it's the most shaded. So I gotta learn, but again, these romas, this is 2 in 1 rack here, and it's too crowded, and they're not growing. There's some decent sized ones in there, but then you look over here, these are growing much better, and it's just 1 in here. Some more Anaheim peppers. This little tomato plant here was a little bitty thing and burnt looking. I just stuck it in here to see if it would grow, and it has. I haven't really taken care of it like my other ones, but it's growing. These 3 here, step back, can we get the full view? These 3 on this side are Cherokee purples, probably my favorite kind of tomatoes, heirloom style. They're growing. See them up in there. And then on the other side, I've got Better Boys growing. And then over here, a little herb garden. I need to snap this. This is some deal. But it's getting a little hot for the deal. Been having to snap it off. It's been bolting. The basil looks really nice. It's growing fast. And over here we've got some bell pepper. This one's got a bad spot in it. I'm probably gonna have to take that off. But I had a windstorm come through. I didn't have these staked before like a dummy, and it blew it down. I think that was sitting on the ground too long. Over there got some oregano. And then over here, these were 2 raised beds from last year. I pulled the middle one out. Definitely got a weed eat around them, but these are Tabasco plants. They're starting to bush out. You can see the Tabascos grow standing up. Kind of funny looking little peppers, how they grow straight up like that. And we had this one sitting, and I was going to pull it up. My kid's like, oh, can we plant some watermelons? We'll see if these make. These are sugar baby watermelons. And this one is my youngest daughter. She wanted to do something on her own, so I let her make the planter's box. Little cherry tomatoes. That kid loves tomatoes, so that's what she's planted. So let's go take a look at the main garden. which I scaled back considerably this year. I've just got so much going on. I knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of time for harvest, so I did scale back. But all right, the one thing I've got to do is repair my electric fence. It is not getting a signal to the fence. It's got it has power coming from the wall, but for some reason it's not getting a signal to the fence. My little pipe end blew off, looks like. I didn't plan things out real well. I've got to get over here and get some of this grass up, but I did not also did not weed real well. I just ran out of time, man. But I've got contender bush beans there, and then the other half is zucchini. These are cucumbers, canning cucumbers. This is, let's see if we can step through the fence here. It's not on. Watch it. Just all of a sudden get the signal and shock the crap out of me. But we're about to have squash, crooked neck squash, coming out our ears. I found my squash closer, really. Space them out good enough, but they don't really seem to care. I don't know how, you probably can't see too well down in there, but there are squash all over it. There's two growing together. Those are probably, so you can go ahead and pick those, but I'll give it one more day. Squash are one of those weird things, like, you know, they'll be small and you'll come back like a day later and they're, you know, 12 feet long. So definitely got to keep up on them. Definitely planted too close. And then down here we've got okra. Again, I did not get my grass out soon enough. So this is emerald green okra growing. That's the majority of it. And down here is crimson okra. Some of it didn't come up well, and I didn't weed real well. First time growing this. I just thought we'd try something new. Another pie plant this down. And I tell you, these next 3 rows, a lot of skips this year. This is, this next 3 are, if it'll focus, there we go, are pink eye purple hull. I tell you, I had a lot of skips, and I meant to come out here and replant the skips, and I just haven't got around to it. But my purple hulls have been real puny looking. They had a real slow start. I think it's mostly due to the fact we had way too much rain when I first planted. I did have my daughters weed these the peas. Apparently they missed out on these, but these 3, so they're looking pretty good. But they were so puny. Some weed growing right here. They were so puny though when they first started growing. I knew the grass was going to overtake them, so I had them weeding. This was just a sample row, way too much grass. Got some butter beans growing there. Tons of skips again on my beans. Just beans and peas are usually my easiest things to grow here, but man, I tell you, it I don't know, they're just puny looking. I didn't really do anything different than we normally do, but the only thing I can come up with is that they just had too much rain. These are contender bush beans again. The corn looks really good, except for it's super grassy underneath. I waited too long to start pulling grass again. I don't know, man, just a new job of mine. I just don't have a lot of time, but it's looking healthy. I planted super wide rows this year because, again, I knew I wasn't gonna have time to really keep up with the harvest like I typically do. And I also knew if I planted rows like normally do, spacing, that I'd have plenty of room left up here. And I'd be like, you know what, there's room left, I'm going to plant it, and then I wouldn't have time to really deal with it and be stressed out. So super wide rows. It does make it easier, you know, to get down with the tiller and keep everything tilled up in the middle, keep those busted up. If you look here, got some squash beetles. I didn't get it focused fast enough. I don't know where he went. I plan on spraying today, putting out, I use a insecticide called Sayonara. Seems to work really well, and then I'll supplement that with some permethrin. You know, nothing too crazy, but it does a decent job. The insects have not been quite as bad this year, so I try not to spray, you know, as often, just as I need to. But we'll see. These rows up top, I'm gonna have to cultivate this ground. Sorry it keeps going out of focus, but our pipeline runs right through here. This freaking monstrosity they put up 2 feet behind my property line. I hate it so freaking much. But years ago, back in the 50s when they put this thing in, it runs right through the top of the garden, and they of course just dump red clay. They don't care, you know, about homeowners here, but it's just never been really good ground. So I'm going to come in here and hit it with the disc and the tiller just to keep the grass from all growing back up. But I am probably going to try to plant again, do a second crop. So I'll get what I can off of this, and maybe in August. We got long growing seasons in Mississippi because it doesn't get very cold, you know, usually at all, but definitely in, you know, we have late summers into fall, and it just doesn't get cold for a long time. So I'm probably going to try to till this back up and row it up and try to plant peas, see what happens there, maybe some field corn, and that'll at least space out, you know, the time of harvest. Maybe I can, you know, get a second crop since I didn't do a very big one here. I would like to put up more than I got growing, but I got them little pollinators. Oh, he just flew away. These guys are loving these cucumber flowers. Pollinators looking good. Oh, here we go. Here's a squash beetle. Let me see if I can get him. See, they just have killed this leaf. Of course, he flew off again, but they're here, and I need to spray. So we'll do that later today. I don't really want to do it right now because it's so windy. I don't want that stuff kicking back in my face. So that's it for this year. It's relatively a small garden for me. Dad's getting older. I mean, he's not old. He's be 71 this year, but his back's getting the better of him, so he's not able to help out like he would want to. But you know, that man's one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life, and I know it kills him not to help out like he wants. But if anybody's earned a dead gum break, it's that guy. Let me show you this real quick. This is my favorite tree. This is a fringe, species of fringe tree, a Grancy graybeard. Earlier in the spring, it puts out these real beautiful white fringes. And later, this tree will produce, let's see if there's any coming on already. I think it's early yet. Yeah. Later, it will produce these little, almost like small olive type berries. Hey, here we go. We found one of the little, I don't know what you call these, berries. Later on, this will turn like a dark purple. Like I said, they almost look like little olives. I need to do some more research on it. Man, check out the shade though. This is like the quintessential, sit under the tree and read a book on a hot day kind of tree. I love this thing. I remember as a young boy when my grandfather, my papa, planted this tree. And I'd come over to help cut grass and weed eat, and he put a piece of PVC around it. He cut a slit in PVC pipe and put it around it because I was nicking it with the weed eater string. And it was only a few years ago that I actually took that off. It had grown, you know, so much that it bursted open. So it's a special tree. I love it. It's beautiful. Also, fringe trees are a native species here to Mississippi. So they are, you know, a wonderful native tree to plant. Especially, like, don't plant Bradford pears, but consider something like this as well. It's not as fast growing, but boy, are they beautiful, and good for the environment and good for all of our native pollinators here. That's a garden, you know, not a whole lot to speak about, but it is what it is, and we're gonna make the best of it. At least try to. See you later, guys.